Hello, people. We don't know what. I guess you're Beauty News family still, because this is going up on Beauty News, but
Controversially.
we forgot. Yeah, controversially apparently. But we apparently also forgot what we were saying, and we're back with another podcast. Something I just want to flag. This is a podcast only, which means it's audio only. There's no video. And that was kind of the whole point for us setting this up, was to make it easy.
Yeah.
Because Kat's a busy mum, 2 boys.
Oh, yeah.
And a job.
Yeah.
And
3 YouTube channels. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess I'm housewifing at the moment. And I'm also, doing my YouTube-y things. And about to be a mum. So we didn't want this to be something where we had to get on camera and look good. It's too much work. Oh my God.
It is too much work. And yes, we've had a couple of, a lot of people congratulating Hayley on the news. So thank you to everyone who did that. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Yes.
We felt the love. There were a couple of people I don't want to listen to this. Don't listen to it. If you see this pop up, it's going to have the same thumbnail. It's going to have the same format. Every video we put up is going to be beauty related, but this is our time to go meandering and chat. And we were chatting before this, and I'm like, save it for the podcast, Hayley, because this is the stuff that we can talk about.
That's right. This discussion needs to be saved for the podcast. But today we just wanted to basically check in, let you know we haven't forgotten that we started a podcast. Though. And we have been busy, and we wanted to just have a little chit chat about recent life and stuff like that. I thought I would share a tiny bit of information about how I'm going. So 20 weeks,
woo,
halfway.
That's exciting.
Having a boy. I think I said that we're having a boy last time.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I didn't? All right. Well, there you go. Now you got the scoop. Everything's going really well so far. We had anatomy scan, or I think they call it an anomaly scan, but I feel like that's a horrible, scary word. So anatomy scan, 20-week anatomy scan.
That's a cute one where you can see you can start seeing what the baby is really looking like.
I know, super.
Did you cry?
Cute. I did. I cry at every one.
Yeah, you're a crier.
The first one we went, and it's literally a blob on a screen with a flicker. And I'm fucking bawling. I'm like, oh my God, we made life. Just so ridiculous. But I am a crier, and I'm so much more emotional now that I'm pregnant.
Oh, man,
everything
hormones
makes me cry.
I swear to God, since I've been through pregnancy twice, I now understand why I was so dramatic and so annoying as a teenager, because hormones are fucked. And when my boys are teenagers, crazy. I'm just gonna I know it might sound patronizing for parents to be like, it's your hormones, you'll get over it. But hormones are whack.
So true.
They throw you off like crazy. And I just think back to what, when I was a teenager, and I was thinking the things are the worst things in the world, and I may as well just end it because of some stupid thing. And I'm like, that's hormones, and it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks so much.
100%. Yeah, it's really, really crazy. Yesterday, I jumped on Instagram, and a friend had made a post about that cat who'd passed away. Oh. And I just fucking sat there and bawled my eyes out. Like it was my cat. And I love the cat. He's such a sweet boy. And I was just so fucking sad because I didn't see it coming. Yeah. I was just like, no, my life is over. I can't go on.
Can I tell you, I think I cried 0 times during my pregnancies.
Oh, really?
I luckily wasn't very hormonal, but we can talk about this when we talk about symptoms.
Absolutely.
But yes. I was actually, I was pretty, where the hormones started for me though was shortly after birth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you have this weird sort of
lie.
Fluctuation. It's like your body's trying to get back to its normal hormone level, and you go a bit loopy. So that one, I think that one was hard. I do want to give a bit of a call to action. We will probably next week or whenever we film next or record next, which might be this weekend, might be next weekend, well, whatever it is, we're going to be talking about sort of pregnancy symptoms, weird cravings, maybe your first trimester mainly. So we want people to give us wacky stories that we can read out. We want to hear your stories. We want to read them out. So if you do have some interesting pregnancy, because I think also funny thing about symptoms is that people think of the typical symptoms. And I used to get really annoyed because I had so many symptoms with my first that people would be like, oh, are you this? Are you that? And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, are you even pregnant? And I'm like, yeah, because I've got this.
Exactly.
But it's all the stuff that no one talks about. So, it's your body just goes crazy. Absolutely
Haywire.
crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So we want to hear
insane.
about your crazy bodies or your friends' crazy bodies or some story that you've got. So if you've got cool stories,
yes.
let us know in the comments.
Absolutely, because we want to share them with everyone, and we want to share our own. And it's nice when you can commiserate with people who've been in the same position as you, because it's fucking insane.
Yeah, and sometimes you feel like you're going crazy. And also, I was quite hesitant to get on like parenting forums and stuff because it is a weird space. So I really wanted to be like, oh, I'm just going to do it and ask my friends and family for any advice rather than, and of course, doctor if it's, medical related.
Serious.
Yeah. But I didn't want to get into like the weird forums because I just thought it's going to be one of those deep dives that I just didn't have the headspace for. But I think this would be a fun way to sort of hear and get a bit of a sanity check. Like if you're going through this, let's hear some crazy stuff.
Yes, definitely. And I have to agree with you about the forums thing. Like I tend to stay away from them because I feel like, I don't know, pregnancy, it's pretty insane and a lot of different things happening to your body. And it's very easy to get into a headspace of, oh my God, is this like really bad? And I feel like sometimes when you're reading too much online, you can really like feed into that. It's better to just like check in with a friend or a parent or whatever and be like, yo, normal or nah?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I agree.
No, I totally think the internet, it's becoming a bit of a dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know. The older I get, the more I'm like, critical thinking is important.
That's true. But I also want to see a photo of your ultrasound. So
I do. I've got
send me
my
one
20
through.
weeks. Yeah, I've got my 20 weeks. Look, I bought a, so the place I go to, they don't do photos. I don't think many places in Australia do photos anymore with ultrasounds. But they do take the images and put them on a memory card for you, like a USB stick.
Mine did do, I went to a couple of places. One did printouts, which I preferred. One printed them out on like when you get those big envelopes and they've got like x-ray film in them? They printed one out on like a big thing, like multiple photos on a big thing like that, which I'm like, that's not super helpful. But, and then I went to one where they were like, we don't print out photos. You have to take a photo of the screen.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they all do weird different things.
Yeah. Well, ours, we can get the images on a memory stick, which we get every time, but it costs us $10 each time. And they won't let us reuse the same memory stick, even though it's not even remotely full. They're like, oh, there might be viruses on it. I'm like, Jesus, lady, like, I'm a fucking millennial. God. Like, there ain't no fucking viruses on my computer. I know what I'm doing.
I also find that really funny that it almost is like, yeah, we're an imaging service, but we're also some like backdoor USB.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Our fucking Temu like 30-cent USB sticks. But it has been good because like I was able to take them all to Melbourne and put them all on Mum's computer so she could look at all of the images. But yeah, I've got them like 6 weeks. I think I had to have another scan at 8 weeks. Then there was one at 12 and then the 20 week. Yeah, so I've got heaps. I'll send you my favourites from each one, including the blob.
The blob flicker.
Oh, the blob. Yeah. We love the blob flicker. It's a good time. So you had a busy week as well.
Yeah, yesterday, as of chatting to you, yesterday was my son's 5th birthday, which is a big one.
Yeah.
A big one.
Yep.
And then on Monday's my birthday. And I've also got my period, and I can't be fucked.
Oh, very good.
And people are away from work, so we've got a lot of work to do. And I'm juggling working, trying to do prep for parties. So yesterday we did like family stuff. So I worked in the morning, and then in the afternoon I saw my family, went to a park, had cake in the park. And then after the full day work, my partner's parents came over for dinner and we had more cake. So
Lovely.
It was sort of like an afternoon weighted thing. But then this weekend so it's the first time, we've always had parties, but they've always been like joint, like our friends that we've invited, our friends' kids, family and whatnot. It ends up being a big thing, and you got to sort of cater for a lot of people. You never get to talk to anyone because you're jumping between like 30 people.
So much.
So this time around we thought, look, it's his second year of kinder. He's got his own friends. So Saturday he's having his own party with his own friends. So they're predominantly kinder people. I feel like I'm going to burn a few bridges with like our friends that have kids, but they're not like, they might be like a couple of years younger or a couple of years older, and they're not really friends with him.
Within the age group. So, yeah. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, so I feel like we're going to get a few... Yes, you can ask.
Did you invite the whole kinder class?
I did. And his last year kinder class.
Oh, that's sweet. I'm always curious about this because I hear, like, I don't know, I get fed a lot of this sort of shit on TikTok now because obviously looking up the kids stuff, and you hear about people saying like, you know, I invited the whole class and nobody RSVP'd.
Yeah.
Or all of the fucking parents are coming and they're also bringing their 8 siblings.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Look, there's a little bit of that. So we've had like a lot of people saying, oh, sorry, we can't make it. And I'm like, I don't even know who you are, so that's fine. But because it's also, he's been in his current kinder class for a term. So I don't know all the parents. But also then we have a few people that are like, oh, but I've got the other siblings, can they come along? And I'm like, whatever, it's at a park, like who cares, go wild. So it's been all right, but I think last year he formed a little bit of, it wasn't even him forming a little bit of a clique, because he's not a cliquey kid, he just kind of meanders through kids. He had a few besties by the end of it, but it's more the parents that get along. So there's like a group of parents that kept in touch in a WhatsApp group, and they all tend to all go to everyone's birthdays because the parents get along, if that makes sense. So I made sure to invite all of them that are still active in that WhatsApp group. And then what I did was I emailed the kinder the invitation, and they send it to all the parents they email it to all the parents from his current group. So, but I'm just aware that there's going to be possibly kids that he doesn't actually like coming. But I'm like, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I tried to make sure that if there was a particular kid that he liked, I would try to contact their parents specifically and be like, would really love it if you'd come. So that kind of thing. Anyway, so it's the kids party on Saturday, and then because my birthday's on Monday, we're doing the family joint thing at the beach Sunday evening.
Lovely.
So we're having a sort of family, his birthday and my birthday combo, like fish and chips at the beach with a cake, Sunday afternoon. So we're sort of doing his friends and then family. So we're actually missing out on a lot of the other people that we usually invite, but it is what it is. So I'm making 3 lots of cakes because one of his besties is like gluten-free. There's kids that have like egg allergies, blah, blah, blah. So I'm making a small batch of cupcakes that are vegan and gluten-free, then the main cake, and then I'm making a cake for the joint thing the next day, which I'm very excited about because I've tracked down a purple taro recipe for a cake.
I saw that, yes.
And I'm super excited to eat it. But it also means I've got 3 days of baking ahead of me because I'm staggering it like 1 recipe a night.
Yes.
So
Makes sense.
So it's there's a lot going on, but it's fun. But it's also like...
It's hectic. It's so much to do. And I think that's... I don't know. Like, our baby is due right near Chris's birthday. And in September, it's like an insane month on like Chris's side of the family.
Yeah.
This doesn't really happen on my side because we're chill as fuck and we don't see anyone or like celebrate with anyone. We're just like, you know, if it's mum, me, my brother, and my sister. And then I only celebrate like friends' birthdays and stuff. So it's not really an issue, but September is a bad month. And I know that it's just going to be harder now.
May's like that for us. So, well, firstly, we had like Easter, and then my kid's birthday. 6 days later is my birthday. The week after is Mother's Day, and then the week after that is my mum's birthday. So it's sort of like there's something every weekend. But I think you sort of get into the swing of like we did shopping for like party bags last weekend. I did all the shopping this morning for what I need to use for baking. Like the night before we'll get like fruit and stuff, and you know, then in the morning we'll prep like fruit platters and the snacks and whatnot. So I think if you sort of are aware of what goes into it, you can sort of just set a little task every day, which is how I'm sort of approaching it. But there's been previous years where I've done like a bunch of baking the night before, which then I'm up until midnight and decorating at like 7 a.m. and shit like that, which has been really stressful. So I'm trying to alleviate some of that this year. But it's also partly because I think working, you sort of need to schedule things around like work meetings.
Correct.
And we filmed beauty news this week, so we've around editing, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that you end up having to like block out certain times for just to get it all done,
which makes things a little bit more difficult. But I suppose that's where like time management really starts to shine. Like if you've worked out how to do that, you can make it work. And you can try and make it as stressless as possible. I was going to say stress-free, but I don't think that's the right term to use when every weekend is busy.
Yeah, I think also what I'm trying to do, which, you know, you start... Look, I don't know if I've got a perfectionist kind of thing, a trait, but sometimes I would, like, not want to do things because I'm like, if I can't do them properly, like, don't do them.
I don't want to do it
or
at
I
all.
stress about
I'm a bit like that too.
So I feel like what I've done though is you end up just kind of going, I actually have putting up no expectations for these things. It's like we're turning up to a park, hopefully we'll get a table, set it up with food and a cake, and then just let it be. I don't care. I actually don't give a shit. So like I've done my job, play, eat your cake, get hyped up on sugar, and let's go home and have a nap. Like, I don't care. So if I sort of approach things like that, then you sort of do what you can do and then whatever.
It just, as long like, as people let the universe have it, basically. Yeah. And let's face it, like, when it's kids, all they care about is having fun, and going to a party in itself is fun for children. And, you know, there's activities and sugar and snacks and all their friends and stuff. Like, that's the epitome of fun at that age. Yeah.
We have hit the age, though, and I was mindful of this, that whenever we've gone to a party, my kids always now ask, are there going to be party bags? Where's the party bags? And I'm like, ugh. So now I've really tried to make sure that I've put extra thought into party bags, because I never, like, you do them just because it's like, oh, thanks for coming or whatever. But you don't realise how impactful they are to the little ones. Yeah, exactly right. They hit the age and it's like, that's the goal of the party. And I'm like, okay, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, like, I remember going to parties as a kid, and I mean, I'm 40 for fuck's sake, and I still remember how fun a party bag could be.
Yes,
like, it was an extension of the fun of the day. You take it home. I think my mum potentially appreciated them to a degree when they weren't full of sugar and they had little toys in them, because they would keep me amused for a couple of hours, or maybe it was minutes.
Probably minutes,
Mum, but
felt like
probably minutes. Felt like hours for me. So I think, like, party bags, I get it. I get why they're asking for party bags. I get why they're really important to the little ones. But I bet they're just an annoying expense for the parents.
They are. They can be. And like,
Yeah.
we've been to some parties where the bags have been awesome. Like recently, there was one where they got these like plushy toys in there, and like my
Oh,
kids
wow.
even named it and likes to sleep with it. And it's like, "Where's Apple? Where's Apple?" I'm like, "It's just a thing for
Oh,
a party
cute.
bag," but he really likes
Yeah.
it. But I was a weird kid. I remember this distinctly. We had this like wardrobe, this little toy wardrobe. It was like a wardrobe that we put our toys in, not a toy
Yeah.
wardrobe. And I used to save my lollies and stuff from party bags. And I remember
And
one
pop them
time,
in there?
yeah, and put them in there. And I remember one time my mum found my stash, and she was like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's my lollies." And she opened it up, and it was like all these lollies from like parties and stuff. And a lot of them had gone,
Oh
you know,
my
when they've gone like
gosh.
white or they've gone sort of like
Yeah.
stale.
But you don't care when you're a kid.
But I was just like, I was such a saver, and I like, no, like we used to get sticker sheets, and I'd be like, no, I can't touch them. They're too beautiful.
I was like that too.
Whereas my kids
Yeah.
are just peeling things and they're sticking them on the walls, and I'm like, don't you want to save that for something cool?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Isn't that's so funny?
Yeah.
Because I also feel like that has carried on for me in adulthood.
Yeah.
Like I'm just the thing that comes to mind, the most simple thing, makeup. Like
Yeah.
there's so many items where I'm like, oh no, I don't want to finish it up because it's too special.
Yeah.
And it's limited
Or clothes.
edition. I won't get another one. Yeah, I won't wear my good clothes because no, this event is not good enough for.
yeah, and then you end
this
up
piece
not
of
being able to
clothing.
wear it because it's either out
That's
of
right.
style or you can't fit into it anymore, and you're like, damn it.
Correct.
I only wore that once.
I fucked up.
Yeah,
I should have
yeah.
worn it.
Yeah, wear the clothes.
Yeah, absolutely. Wear the clothes, use the makeup, enjoy the party bags. I think that is the moral of the story.
I think
and
so.
life's too short. You got to enjoy the shit that you've got in the moment. I think that's it's a good way to live.
But also don't break everything like my kids do. They get something, they break it instantly, which is not a good way to live.
Yeah, no. What do you do in those situations? Are you just
I
like,
secretly
oh well?
fume.
Oh, do you?
No, look, in those, like, it happens, I'm going to say it happens, I don't want to say almost daily, but almost daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's hard because my kids, like, my eldest particularly, he's super destructive and likes to test the
Yeah.
limits of things. So he'll break a lot of things, like he'll just get something and he breaks it. He gets really upset. I'm like, well, we'll try to fix it. But also sometimes I'm like, then don't break your stuff. Like, it is what it is. Like, so it depends. Like, if it's something that that's worth fixing, we'll be like, let's try to fix this. But then there's other times I'm like, you need to just learn not to try to bend that until it snaps.
And I think sometimes like you kind of need to let them sit in that uncomfortable position where it's like, oh shit, I broke this thing that I really like, and just be like, well, that's what happens when you, you know,
it's a
when you
life
fuck with
lesson,
stuff.
but it's also
Yeah.
it's really tough for like a little kid to learn.
Yeah.
And it's also, they might learn it one day and then like, they still, it still doesn't mean
They
he
still
applies
do
it
it.
the next
Yeah,
time. It's
yeah.
it's just one of those, for us, it's one of those daily battles, which, it really
Is
triggers
annoying.
me. I think also going
Yeah.
back to that, me being a really conserving everything and saving and being really careful with
Yeah.
things, and then having
Yeah.
these two crazy kids that just go and try to break everything. It really does. It's tough to watch. It's really tough
I
to
can
watch.
imagine. I think I would struggle with that as well.
man.
But
Even
I
thinking
mean,
about
I
it, it's
grew
time
up.
to sweat.
Yeah, I can imagine. I grew up in a family where like money wasn't like, it was a bit scarce, you know.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we were fine. The bills were paid and we were fed, but like receiving things that weren't essential wasn't really something that happened very often.
Mm-hmm.
And it was typically around like birthdays and Christmas and stuff like that, and very, very occasionally a treat just because. And I think it got a bit more frequent as I was older because I learnt to ask and annoy mum more. And
Fair.
sometimes she'd just be like, fine, just fucking get it. Like, shut up and leave me alone. So I think for me, that has sort of, like, that taught me a life lesson about, you know, sometimes, like, you have to look after your stuff for one. If you use it, eventually it will be, like, finished up, or, you know, gets wear and tear and stuff like that. So I've carried that on in my adult life, and I'm like, look after everything.
Yeah.
Try to get as much use out of everything. Don't waste stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely like that. I think it partly is personality based though, because I don't know if my sister was the same growing up.
Oh,
but
really?
Yeah, so
Interesting.
we had the same sort of obviously upbringing, but
Yes.
I was really sort of precious, but I think almost too much so that I didn't have fun with a lot of things because I was too worried about using it up. So I'm all for like use your stickers, eat your lollies.
Absolutely. And you
But,
have to
like,
let them do that.
Yeah, but my boys push it. But that, that we're learning.
They
slowly.
like to break shit.
Oh, they do. And I want to say I blame YouTube, but that's a story for another day.
Yes, yeah, we
story
can
for
get
another
into
day.
that. All right, guys, we are going to wrap that up there. We just want to remind you, call to action. Let us know your like weird pregnancy symptoms or cravings, any funny or like weird stories that you've got
Embarrassing.
to tell. Embarrassing. We don't have to share your name. Just, you can even DM us on Instagram if you want to like really remain anonymous. That's all good. There's plenty of ways to contact either Kat or myself. So do that if you want to contribute and be part of the next podcast discussion.
And wish me luck baking.
Yes, good luck, Kat.
I'll share the
Bake
purple
those
cake.
cakes.
I'll share the purple
And
cake.
yes, please do. And I so hope that the weather is good for you when the parties are happening over the weekend, because Melbourne can be a bit of a shit like that.
Yeah, it's been pretty rainy lately, so I think the sun's starting to come out, so it's good timing.
Excellent. That's what you want.
You got to pray to the park gods that we get the picnic table.
You do. That's the hard everybody. Pray to the park gods for Kat. All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you in the next one.
See ya. Bye.